Jaden Rashada back in the portal. Goes to Arizona State. For background information, you need to know Jaden Rashada's name because he's one of the most highly rated quarterbacks in the 2024 class. He shows up to Florida. There's no cash money for him, as was promised by NIL endorsements. And he transfers to Arizona State, where he had, I believe, a family member go to school there because he didn't have anybody else, any other place to go. He showed up at midterm in early January and didn't have the cash money to be able to continue playing for them. So now it's looking like he could go to Georgia, as the Bulldogs are an early favorite. I don't want to take anything away from Nico Maleava, but should Tennessee be at all interested in Jaden Rashada?
And yes, I posed this question as an idea of whether or not Tennessee should make a recruiting move just to troll Florida and stick it to Florida. I'm not even going to lie. But I will say this. Jaden Rashada is 6'4". He's only 185 pounds, so he needs to put on weight. Didn't show a lot last year, but he could be a guy that with Josh Heupel could become a very dangerous player. I think Tennessee should make a run at him. I think they should. If anything, and this is another way college football is being like the NFL now. I think sometimes, Dave, you need to make a run at players to make sure they're not playing for your opposition.
Or drive up the cost.
Yeah, exactly. Or you drive up the cost. So I think Jaden Rashada, look, I'm not opposed to going after him. And also, John Adams and I spoke about this yesterday, funny enough, Dave, and you would have been interested in the topic because we kind of had a conversation of when you think of the transfer portal, you're like, oh, fill this need here, fill this need here. Why should having a good player at a certain position preclude you from still going for another good player at that position?
It absolutely shouldn't. Tennessee still went after Brandon Stewart when they knew they had Peyton Manning. I think Stewart actually committed at first. I could go on and on and on. Schaefer and Ainge both committed. They were highly regarded. It shouldn't stop you from going after anybody.
Yeah, I agree. You should still go after everybody. You shouldn't. My quote was, you shouldn't draft Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan just because you have Clyde Drexler on your team. Okay, so if you can get a great player in the portal, why not go for him? And you're right. I think strategically, at the very least, you could drive up the price. And here's the big part of this. Georgia's not on Tennessee's level with NIL money. I don't know if you guys know that. Georgia is.
Well, they don't have to be.
They don't have to be.
They're getting the Saban discount, the smart discount now. Is what they're getting because he's going to get you ready for the NFL. Portions of the program brought to you by our good friends at Varner Ford.
Experience it all at Varner Ford in Clinton. Need a quick fix or routine maintenance? Visit our Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center. Keep your Ford running smoothly with the experts in our service department. Ready for your next Ford? Our sales team's here to guide you through. 24 Ford Badlands Bronco, $59,829. 24 Ford Maverick all-wheel drive, $28,540. 24 Ford Explorer XLT four-wheel drive, $49,996. Local you trust, experience you can afford. Varner Ford, your East Tennessee Ford dealership.
All right, so Jaden Rashada back in the SEC. If all is well and good, this guy's going somewhere else, right? He's not going to the SEC. I don't think you need to see Jaden Rashada in the SEC if you're a Tennessee fan, or if you're an SEC fan that doesn't sign him. I don't think you want to see Jaden Rashada in the SEC. I think he's the type of player, and I've watched his film extensively, that can change a program's trajectory. I think he's that type of player.
He's going to a school in the SEC, though. I'm just going to tell you that he is. But he's not going to Georgia because I think Jaden Rashada is chasing some NIL cash. And I don't think Georgia, you just talked about the smart discount. I don't think Georgia's willing to buy players on NIL cash given what they've proven. I'll tell you where he's going. It's one of two schools still trying to build themselves up. Auburn or Mississippi State. Mississippi State with Jeff Lebby, who is the next smart, exciting offensive coach, another Josh Heupel with his creativity, and Jaden Rashada. And I bet he would. I don't know what NIL money Mississippi State has, but I feel like Jeff Lebby would say to the boosters, "Hey, let's open up the checkbook for this one guy, and then I can work with pieces around him. But give me this one guy, and I can do it."
Does Lane get involved in Rashada?
I don't think Ole Miss. There's two things that would hold Ole Miss back from getting Rashada. One, I think they've stretched their NIL budget. And I think you know that better than I do. They've stretched their NIL budget.
Yeah,
and
stretch is an understatement.
yes. Two, there's already a quarterback there in Jackson Dart. So if you're Jaden Rashada, you'd have to take a discount to be a backup. I don't think he's going to do that.
No, but he's going to be a backup at Georgia.
But would you rather be a backup at Georgia? And I don't think he's going to take a discount.
How long does Carson Beck have? How much eligibility does he have? He can leave after this year, I know, but chances are you're going to have to sit behind somebody at Georgia, even if we don't know who the player is, right?
That's correct. Carson Beck, I believe, has technically 2 more years of eligibility because the COVID year didn't count against him and he redshirted in 2021, but he's gone after He's gone after this year. He's going straight to the NFL. So you are right. I'll give you this. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'd rather go to Ole Miss than Georgia in that regard because I'd rather be coached by Lane Kiffin than Mike Bobo.
Yep. Hit that like and subscribe button. Do that now. We greatly appreciate that. As like and subscribe, we bring you the program each and every weekday at 10 a.m. Jaden Rashada looks like he's headed back into the SEC, and he's a name that you need to know of because he's going to make Georgia a better football team if that's where he goes. What other prospects are we hearing that he might end up to as far as school-wise? By the way, coming out of school, just to give you an idea of where he was rated clearly as one of the top running backs. Top quarterbacks in the entire 2024 class. So he in some ways Nico-like in that he's a little bit taller, 6'4". Nico's about a solid 6'6", but he needs to put on about 20 pounds of muscle. So does stand tall in the pocket. I like his mobility. I like a lot of things about him, but ultimately he's been compared to Jared Goff of the Rams. I don't see that comparison necessarily, but he certainly will make a football team better just by showing up on campus. At least I believe he will. The flip side is, do you wonder that he's bounced all over the place? Does he have any sort of character flaws? That would be a concern.
I don't know if he has character flaws. You know, Arizona State's in some trouble right now. They've had a bit of a rocky last couple of years, and so I think that's why he left. I think Arizona State did just get in some sort of probation. So, by the way, how do you get put on probation this era of college football? But
I don't know. It seems like you could run over like a sidewalk full of students and not get put on probation as a football player nowadays. I don't understand what you have to do to get put on probation. Yeah,
they got put on probation for violations committed during the Herm Edwards era. So, like, I think that could be why he's out. The thing you would worry the most is, and this is, by the way, this is why they held Nico back last year, guys. Jaden Rashada was 6'4", but he was 185. He only played 4 games last year because he kept getting hurt.